All right, so I'm going to use Spotify as a simple way to just kind of like talk about some of this stuff. So once this is turned on, the only real two major things you need to think about are the gain, which is top left. All right. Gain sends signal to a channel, and a channel has all of your inputs in it. And you'll see they're all color coded here. So the drums are green. All right. All instruments are blue on the left side. More instruments. Computer on stage are yellow. Vocalists are red. Pastor mic or speaker mics or whatever are purple, and none of these are being used. These are all blank. These are all empty. Aux is going to be your Mac, which is this guy. Okay, the Spotify and stuff like that, or videos. Don't worry about effects returns. This doesn't really matter right now either. And really, this doesn't either for right now, for the simplicity of it. All right, so when we look at gain, I want you to think of like a microphone as a water hose. All right, gain is the spigot, right, that your water hose is plugged into. So if you want to send a lot of water to a water hose, you're going to crank the spigot, right? And it's going to send a giant amount of water in through the water hose to the little squeezy nozzle. I want you to think of these individual channels as the squeezy nozzle. Now you can manually set how much water you want to come out of the little sprayer nozzle. If you're just trying to get a little bit of water, well, you probably shouldn't crank this up. And that's where you start to get hums and frequency squeeches, and where like, the mics just go, and it causes a bunch of noise. It's because you're sending too much signal to the channel. Think of it as like you've opened too much of the spigot to send stuff to the water hose. So the water hose is kind of being overloaded. All right. So that's how I kind of think of it. A safe place to be is set your gain to where your volume is comfortable somewhere in these big zero chunks. All right. So if I'm looking around here, most of the things that we have kind of hang out around the zeros, right? Around these little zero chunks between +5 and -5 dB. That's a great place to be, all right? Because if you're cranking up and you're all the way up here, well, you're not getting enough from here. So you're going to have to turn this up a little bit to compensate with that. But again, if you start getting too crazy, things are going to start to squelch and squeak and stuff. So let's look at aux 1. This is the music. I'm just going to go ahead and play on something. Hopefully this doesn't mess you up, Tim, if you're listening to music on your own. I clicked play. I don't hear anything. Problem number 1. I don't hear a thing. I know it's playing. I got nothing. So the first thing you'd like to do is you need to find out where your meters are. Now, this side is every individual channel. Example, we got kick drum, snare drum, floor tom, overhead, bass, guitar, keys, right? Every single individual thing is listed out. They're also color coded. On this side, this is a group of these sent into one channel. So if I want to turn up the drums, instead of using 4 fingers, and you see how we're kind of sporadically set out across the, instead of me grabbing 4 fingers and trying to turn them all up at the same time, nice and gently, I have it set up to where these are all sent to one overall volume. So if I want all of the drums to get louder, well, I just turn all the drums up or down. Okay. Now, as I was going through, I remembered that these are yellow, which was the FX button. So let me turn that up a little bit, see if that helps. And I still got nothing. Problem is my mains are down. That's your main speakers on the left and the right. So if I start to turn this up, I still got nothing. Well, that's because I looked at my individual channels and these are linked together. There we go. And you'll see now I'm sending the signal to here, which is now sending the signal to here, which is why you can see my mains are jumping. And that's it. Okay. And again, think about that for every individual channel. Just make sure you're plugged in. Make sure all individual channels are getting signal. Make sure this is getting signal, right? Make sure your mains have signal. And that's it. All right. I wouldn't worry too much about sends and compressors and equalizers. You can look at YouTube videos for that, but that's just how to make sure this works. Okay. Also make sure that this is always turned on. This is the amps that send power to your mains. This is also the amps that sends power to here. So this has to be on. This has to be on. This has to be on. And just for safety, I always turn the back one on. Okay. That's how you run sound up in the student center. To turn it off, this is what you should do. You should go to setup on the control menu here. On the left hand side, you'll see shutdown. If I just select go, it'll say your system is ready to shut down. Switch off console. That's just a safe way to do it. When you're done, pull everything down. Find the little cover because we don't want dust and bugs and stuff like that crawling in here, because it'll make our stuff not last long. We want our stuff to last a long time. And then we can go ahead and turn this power off. And then we can turn the back power off. And that's it.